Have you ever stopped to think about the invisible systems that power our language? There's this secret code that we all use every single day without even realizing it. Well, today, we're going to crack that code together. Okay, take a quick look at this. You know exactly what this is, right? Instantly. It's a job ad. You didn't even have to think about it. Which leads to a really good question, right? How do you know that? The answer is pretty amazing. Your brain is constantly, automatically, following a set of unwritten rules, a kind of shared understanding of how different texts are supposed to look and sound. Without even trying, you're already a master of this hidden code. So here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll decode those unwritten rules we see every day. Then we'll dive into the blueprint itself, grammar. After that, we'll explore the secret lives of words, and I'll let you in on the secret of language chunks. And finally, we'll pull it all together so you can develop your very own language radar. So let's jump right into that first part, decoding our daily language. Remember that job ad? You recognized it because of something linguists call genre norms. It's just our collective, unspoken agreement on the patterns, the layout, the phrasing, the format that tell us, hey, this is an email, or this is a news story, or this is a recipe. It's really the first layer of the code. Okay, so if we peel back that layer of genre, we find the actual blueprint of language, grammar. This is the bedrock, the fundamental set of rules that holds everything together and, makes communication even possible. Let's look at its two main parts. First up in that blueprint is syntax. The easiest way to think about it is like traffic laws for words. It's the system that tells all our words where to go and in what order. Without syntax, we just have a chaotic pileup of words, a total mess with no meaning. And what's so cool about this slide is just how obvious it is to us. The first sentence, totally fine. The second one is just, it's just wrong. That little feeling of wrongness you get, that's your brain's alarm system going off, telling you a syntax rule has been broken. Word order is absolutely not random. But grammar isn't just about the order of words, it's also about their shape. And that's the second key part, morphology. Think of it like language Legos. It's the study of how we snap little pieces onto words or even change their whole form just to create different meanings. And this shows just how often we do it without a second thought. We add endings to turn happy into happiness. We add prefixes to make unhappy. We change the whole word to show tense, like take becoming took. We're constantly molding and reshaping words to fit our grammatical needs. It's incredible. Okay, so we've got the blueprint of grammar. Now, let's zoom in on the building blocks themselves, words. Because as we're about to see, a single word can have a life that's way more complex and interesting than what you'd find in a simple dictionary definition.
For instance, take the word book. What does it mean? Well, the obvious answer is, a thing with pages that you read, but that is just scratching the surface.
And check this out. Here are just a few of the different lives of the word book. It can be an object, a verb for making a reservation, a penalty from the police, or even this metaphor for financial fraud. The only reason we know which one is which is the context. This idea, where one word has lots of related meanings, is called polysemy, and our brains navigate it like it's nothing. But get this, a word's identity isn't just about its own meanings, it's also shaped by its relationships with other words. We really only understand hot because we also know cold. We get costly because we have expensive. Words don't exist in a vacuum. They're all part of this huge interconnected web of meaning. And what's really important is that this web has a structure. Words often live in these hierarchies. Like you see here, an apple is a type of fruit, and fruit is a type of food. The fancy linguistic terms are hyponym and superordinate, but really, it's just the simple relationship between a general category and a specific example. And finally, words carry what you might call emotional baggage. This is called connotation. A chubby baby sounds adorable, right? Healthy and cute. But change just one of those words, and the feeling of chubby changes completely. That emotional flavor is a super powerful, invisible layer of meaning. All right, this next part is one of the biggest secrets to sounding fluent and natural in any language. So here's the big reveal. We don't always build our sentences from scratch, word by word. A huge amount of the time, we're actually using prefabricated chunks of language. One of the most common types of these chunks is called a collocation. These are basically words that are good friends. They just love to hang out together, way more often than you'd expect by chance. For example, we say clenched fist. It just sounds right. But clenched eyebrows? That sounds weird. It's not a grammar mistake, it's just that those words aren't friends. It's all about these strong natural partnerships. And we can scale this whole idea up from pairs of words to entire phrases. As the linguist Michael Lewis points out, we have all these memorized lexical units just sitting there ready to go. Think about it. When you say, "I'll give you a ring," you're not building that sentence. You're just grabbing the whole chunk and using it. I mean, just think about how often you use phrases like these. By the way, on the other hand, a close shave. They basically act like single words, single units of meaning, and using them effortlessly is one of the true signs of fluent, natural speech. So, we've decoded genres, we've looked at the grammar blueprint, we've explored the secret lives of words, and we've uncovered the power of language chunks. So what? Let's bring it all home. What's the point of knowing all this stuff? Well, the real goal here isn't to memorize a bunch of boring rules and become a walking grammar textbook. No way. It's about developing something much more powerful: language awareness. This is your instinct, your own internal radar for how language actually works. It's the ability to step back and start noticing these patterns for yourself, to really understand the system from the inside. And this, right here, is the ultimate takeaway. Every single time we speak or write, we are making choices. Choosing costly instead of expensive changes the feel. Saying, "I'll drop you a line" instead of "I will send you a message" changes the entire tone of the relationship. Language awareness means understanding the subtle power behind these choices. That is what mastering the code is really all about. So here's my challenge to you. As you go about your day, turn on that language radar. Really listen to the collocations people use. Notice the subtle connotations in their word choices. See if you can spot those prefabricated chunks they're using without even thinking. What parts of the hidden code will you uncover today?